Hi, Mom. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Grandmas.
Grandma.
Hi, Doodle. Hi. Hi, Doodle. You guys are kind of late, ain't ya?
Late? You mean dinner's ready? You're waiting on us?
11:30. You're already
Mama
ate.
couldn't get up, huh?
Huh?
Your mother couldn't get up.
Oh, it sounds like her.
Hey.
Oh, little.
Here comes my mom.
She got the bread. Oh. I feel raindrops falling on my head. Oh, thank you. How are you? Fine. Ooh, your cheeks are cold. Look at this
No, it smells good. Right, kid? Are you feeling
Hey,
better?
child.
Huh? You feel better?
Get that cigarette off the
Good,
Dakota.
good. What is it? A turkey?
That one does everything, right? Yeah.
I've been too excited to see
Get out on the porch for 20 minutes waiting for you to come.
Oh, for God's sake, you guys.
That's it, enjoy it.
Did you feel
Yeah,
better?
he was my last day at Smith.
Yeah.
Our girl.
Aw.
We got American. We got Smith.
Well, where are we gonna put all of our coats?
Give them to Buffy. She can go put them on Larry on the bed.
Larry.
This is the, it's
It's what?
pre-cooked, see?
Uh-huh.
And we just have to warm it up. And then drain it before we put the
Okay.
cake, before we put this on. See?
All right.
Crap wash. How about a cup of
Now it is.
Does the TV always do that when you take the pictures?
Yeah.
You going upstairs? Well, why don't you tell Grandma I could have got up, hon?
Kitty wasn't doing that when we come in, when she was taking pictures.
Maybe she'd quit for
It's fooling it. There's Dee Dee.
Without any teeth on. Oh.
Larry.
Let me see your teeth, Diddy.
Larry.
Oh, no.
Larry. That always does that? That always causes
Yeah,
that?
Grandma's.
No, I didn't think so.
What happened?
Well,
Well, say something, Mom. This is
Oh,
talent
you
show.
Oh,
look at
darling.
the TV.
She wants,
On the
and he
one
wanted me to
side.
smile and show my teeth, that Larry.
How was your dinner?
Fluffy and Kelly
Oh,
down there.
very good. It don't get no sound, does it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, oh boy, I
You're
didn't know
being
that.
interviewed right now.
Oh, I thought I'd be on silent movies.
Oh,
Get my mom over there.
She'll think she's in Vegas.
Pause it just a minute.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, is it going?
Yeah, it's going.
Okay. Well, this is a true story. It's supposed to be a true story. Now, this was told to me by my grandmas. And, well, not my mother, but my grandmas. Anyway, it was in Solix, Missouri, and this place where they always went coon hunting was called, oh, God, what was it called?
Bob's
Goofed already.
No, it wasn't Bob's Hunter. It was, oh, God, I can't think. I'll think of it right away. Anyway, they always went coon hunting, so there was a big bunch of guys, and they'd all been a drinking and carrying on, getting ready to go coon hunting. So this one guy says, they said, well, where are we going tonight? And they said, well, we're going up by the old house up there on the hill. Said it's been empty for years because it's haunted. And nobody would live there anymore. It seemed that there was a whole family shot themselves in there, killed herself, and everybody that ever went there, well, they just got out of there because it was haunted. They couldn't live there very long. So anyway, they talked all these to get together and go coon hunting. And so anyway, they started out, it was kind of misty, rain and all, and so they got down here at this big house, and they was hunting through the woods, and they looked up and they said, oh my, said, look over there, said, what is that thing laying by the gate? It was a great big iron fence around there. It was real, I guess, a mansion in one day, because I can remember the house as if it was yesterday. We used to go there and walk there. Anyway, they said, this one guy said, well, what is that laying in front of this big gate there? An iron fence there before you went in. Anyway, this one man says, oh, I've heard about this. He said, no, I'm not going up there, because this big black, it looked like a great big black dog there. And this one man says, I'm not going there. Says, I've heard stories about this place, and I'm not going up there. Well, the other guy says, oh, come on. He says, don't be a sissy. He said, we're going to go up there anyway. So this one said, well, you go on, but we're not going. So he walked up there, and just as he got close, this big, shiny, black dog and great big, shiny eyes are looking at him, and he was scared, I guess. But this one got real brave, and he said, well, I'm going up. I'm not afraid of anything like that. So I don't believe it. So he went up there, and this thing just reached up his paw and just ripped him right down. And they said his inside was there, but now this is supposed to be true.
Yeah.
Yes. Up there at, oh, I can't think of that darn place where it was. But anyway, we went there a lot of times, and yeah, it was in Solix, Missouri, but it was out from town. It was up on a great big kind of hill, and it was just a big, beautiful mansion, because I remember going there a lot. Grandma and them used to go there in the daytime, pick berries, because blackberries, they had big blackberry patches there, and all kinds of things. Anyway, when the guys would stand back there, and they started to run, and they said they run all the way into town. And they come in there, and they called the sheriff, and they didn't have no sheriff in Solix at that time. So they called in Troy, and they had a big bunch of them went out there to see, you know, and to pick this man up, because they just left him lay there, you know. And when they went out there, then they found all this man with all insides got out of him. Now, I know there is such a thing as devil dogs, because I don't think Uncle Irby lied about it. When he was a boy, and he used to deliver papers, and they'd get up early in the morning, you know. And he was just a school kid. Grandma and Grandpa was living, and he stayed there at home with them. So, anyway, down where the Bellymeyers, you know where they always lived, that used to be all a big field, I guess. I don't remember it, but then he said, well, you know, and big hearthweeds grew up tall. So he was coming home, and it was just, you know, not quite daybreak, I guess, or maybe it was in the evening. I don't know when it was. Anyway, here he come, and he kept hearing something walking behind him. So he looked behind, and here he seen this great big black dog with them shiny eyes. So when he stopped, the big dog stopped. So then he walked a little faster, the dog walked faster. So then he started running, and the dog started running behind him. He just stayed a certain distance. So he got up on the porch, and Grandma said, and I remember her telling us too, Grandma said she opened the door, and that kid fell in, and he was just white as a ghost. And he really seen it. I believe in it. I really do. I think that.
Can Karen see you on here, or are you too far away? Let's get over here with this. She don't want to see you too.
Yeah.
Okay, now Mom,
Yes, tell about
tell
this.
Karen that story that happened with the thread at the house.
Well, on the Davenant thread, yeah,
It's really weird.
there was a shoebox thrown at Davenant out on the front porch. There was a whole bunch of spools of thread there, and one was purple, real bright purple. And I went out that way to the mailbox a couple different times, a couple days. And when I got in the kitchen, went out to the mailbox and came through, when I got in the kitchen, I couldn't hardly walk, and there was, that purple thread was all around my legs.
On your leg.
Not just one leg, but both legs.
Both
Right.
legs.
Both
Both
legs.
completely.
Around and around
Yeah.
one ankle and
And
around
I
and
thought,
around
well,
the other
where in
ankle.
the world did that come from? So I got myself untangled.
And she
I
called me.
never, no, not yet.
Oh.
You're ahead of yourself. See how fast she goes?
Who's telling the story?
Both of us. Anyway,
This
this
is
happened
weird.
2 or 3 days. I did the same thing, and I didn't know where that purple thread was coming
It
from.
kept coming over. and
Yeah,
over.
I just walked through it. So Dee Dee was out there one day, and I don't think I had said anything about this yet. And then when she followed me out, I don't know why she followed me, but she did.
You called me.
Did I call
Yeah,
her?
you
Oh, I
said
got
Dee Dee.
tangled up.
Yeah, she got tangled up again. No,
I got
kidding.
tangled, and I said, Dee Dee, come here and look at this. And she came out there, and she
I said,
said,
wait
well,
a
what
minute, Auntie,
happened?
I'm all tangled up.
And she got all tangled up.
Yeah, I was.
She really did.
My feet, both
With that
feet was
purple
tangled
thread.
up.
We couldn't find the thread. We didn't
Round
know
and
where
around
it was
one
coming
side,
from.
round and around
So
the
she
other
was
side.
helping me clean, and she was dusting the kitchen chairs off. She said, Auntie, look at this. And around that chair rung way on the floor was wrapped around and around that purple
Back
thread.
next to the wall. Yes, all the way back to the wall.
And then we discovered that she tried to get that thread. We finally discovered the purple thread in the box, and then she took the spool of purple thread and tried to get it through that front door, where the hinge part, and put that, as Shannon says, pit it through. She tried to pit that through.
Because that's where
And
the
that
thread
spool,
was.
that spool wouldn't go through there,
Mm-mm.
but the thread was through and way over,
Yeah.
almost into the dining room. But the spool wasn't in there, and it couldn't go through that crack.
We don't get it.
That's
The
true.
spool was in the box, wasn't it,
And
Andy?
then when she later
Yeah.
knew linoleum and they moved the refrigerator, there was a big gop of purple
Yeah.
back there.
It
I
was-
got it. I showed it. Did I
Yeah,
show it
she
to her
showed
the
it
other
to
day?
me.
I said, I
Got a
get rid of
mouse
that
or
purple
something.
thread.
A mouse couldn't do that.
Couldn't wrap
How
it
could it
around
wrap
the
around
chair.
around that chair
Just
or a
perfect.
leg?
Just the perfect
She
spin
said it looked
around.
like somebody had just
Oh, God,
started it around.
Yeah,
How did we
And
pick
to
that
walk
up?
through it wouldn't wind it around one
No,
ankle and the
wouldn't
other
get it
ankle
around
and then
her
wrap them
legs,
both
hon.
together.
It was
You
just
couldn't
Well,
walk.
it's a good thing it was thread instead of rope or something.
Really? It was like it was out
I
to
had
get
chair
her.
bumps on me and Auntie did
Isn't
too.
that weird?
No,
I'm
it
glad
isn't.
she saw it because
Two
it
or
was
three
just me.
times, you
You
know.
think I was kookier than I am, really?
Two or
No.
three times to happen. Once you could see walking through it and getting tangled up a little bit.
About 3 different times I was
But,
all
and
tangled
then
up with
she,
that.
she told her about it. It happened to her too.
Yeah, she said, well, look at me, I got it too.
I had to get it all loose, you know. Oh my
Can
God.
you believe?
Yeah.
That's really weird.
I still can't. I can't figure
It made
it
you
out.
have chills.
It does.
You
Because
had
it's
to
so
raise
real.
that leg of that chair up. You got that wrapped around like it was. It was. Oh, come on. Oh my God.
He scared me and I scared him.
I thought he was fixing the thing. I didn't know he was scared. You're not. No.
Okay, I guess we're done, ain't we?
Like a gremlin.
But wait till I
You know
tell
what
you something.
happened to us?
Oh, you
one
got
night?
another
What?
card?
Me and Connie was going up here by the graveyard, up here at Bonterre Graveyard,
Turn the camera on him.
and we kept hearing this thing going, Mark, Mark.
No
I said,
kidding.
what is that, Connie? She said, I don't know.
Uh-uh.
And we kept hearing it going, Mark, Mark. So we slowed down. We pulled in there, and we was driving back through there, and it kept getting louder, going, Mark, Mark,
Uh-uh.
Mark. We got back in this big mausoleum thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, I talked her into going inside with me.
Oh,
She
no.
screamed and hollers, I ain't going in there.
I want to go
And
see
it
what
just
it
kept
was.
getting louder. It's going, Mark, Mark, Mark. And we got inside. You know what it was? A hair-lipped dog.
What?
It's a hair-lipped dog.
You're kidding.
What?
Honest to Pete.
Mark, 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 Mark.
Honest to God.
What's he mean?
Why don't you tell him what
Oh,
happened
he's,
at the haunted house?
he's
It's
full
a joke.
Let's go hit him right
Yeah.
now. Let's go hit him.
Hitting's too good.
Yeah, let's go hit him
Why don't you
right
tell him
now.
what happened at the
Larry.
haunted house that
Well,
one
come on
time?
here.
No, you tell it.
Come
You
on.
tell it.
Tell it, Kate.
Yeah, come on.
Abby would like that.
Oh,
Come on. You
But
tell
you
because
gotta
Abby
tell-
would like it.
Well, we was up there fixing the haunted house. Okay, we was up there working
Yeah.
all evening. We got ready to go, packed all our stuff in the car and everything. We turned off the light and it wouldn't go off.
Oh.
Or did it come back on after we
Scared.
No, it wouldn't go off.
It
You
wouldn't
kept
go off
flipping
at all.
back and forth, but
Oh my
still.
gosh.
Then it faded out, but didn't tell about it.
It's really on it, huh?
It's faded out.
Come on, Dave.
You're doing good.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that was really strange. Bud and Buster and them, this happened up the country house. Anyway, they were in school yet and everything. It was when we first got that house, about 16, well, what, I've had that house 16 years up there, I guess.
I
about.
thought you were going to say 1600.
No. Anyway, you know Buster, he never was very ambitious or nothing, you know. He wouldn't get up when we'd go to the creek, remember? He'd lay there, wouldn't go swimming, nothing with us. Well, anyway, I was sitting there at the breakfast table. At that end, you know how it faces down towards the road, and then you can see Cousin's house up above there. Well, I was sitting there, and this was daytime now. Anyway, I was sitting there, and I was just looking up towards Virginia's. They was staying there then, you know. And all of a sudden, right through the wall, now there was no door there then. Anyway, right through the darn wall coming a woman, just out right through the wall. I look in white, she was just white like chalk. And I sat there and well, you know, you're in shock for a minute, you don't know what. So I said, I thought I was seeing things. So I said, Buster and Buddy, come here quick, I want you to see something. And see if you see what I see. Well, little Bud come and he seen it. Buster wouldn't get up. No, he wouldn't come up. So anyway, I said, oh my God, I said, she's looking up towards Country Road. I bet you, there's a little, we call it the church road because there's a little church up above there, not too far up. Anyway, I said, it looks like she's going to go up the church road. Well, she dressed, she had a bonnet on. She was real pale looking and had one of those real old-time aprons on over her long dress. And, her shoes was different than what we wore, too, just kind of, I guess, old-time shoes.
Buttoned.
I don't know what they was, but you could just see the toe was round, different than what we always wore. Anyway, I said to Bud, looks like she's going to go across the road and go up that church road. And sure enough, she started up the church road. And so Bud says, I'm going to go through the woods because you see the road from the house there, And then you could just go right through there, get right there at the road. So I said, I'm going up there and see what she's going to do. Oh, I said, honey, I wish you wouldn't go up there. I said, that person is just not a real person. And I said, I don't think you should go up there. Anyway, he went. And
Through the woods.
yes, he just
Wasn't
went through the
across
woods.
road.
So she stopped there, right there at the church. Yeah, right there at the church she stopped. And it looked like she had a paper when she came out of that house in her hands, some kind of a piece of paper. Anyway, she got up in front of this road there facing, and she stopped right there at the church, right in the middle of the road. And I asked him what she did, and then he told me this. And said she looked like she was reading the paper, and then she just dropped the paper and it disappeared. And he said, then he stood there for a second and said she just appeared there too, right in the middle of the road. He come home, and I want to tell you, that kid, I'd like to never got him over. He was sick. Oh, God, was he sick. I asked him not to go away. Yes. I'm surprised he made it home. Oh, he was so, he just irked. He was just really sick. He
How
was
did
really
he come
scared.
running home so fast?
One night up there, Dee and I saw a light over Virginia's house almost, except that other building by her. Up in the, like it was right above the roof, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Just a bright light, like a neon sign.
yeah,
Sort of
And
silver.
it was so dark outside, it was cold black outside.
yeah.
It gets so
It was
dark.
raining, wasn't it?
See, there's no street lights.
Yeah,
It
it was raining.
and
Then
dark.
before we went to bed, we looked, it was still there.
They hear and see the weirdest
One
things
day-
up there.
Auntie and I was sitting there at the table, and what were we eating breakfast or lunch, something.
Probably
And-
just eating.
Yeah, we was just sitting there, pretty soon, knock, knock, knock on the door.
Yeah, this is
And I said, just a minute. Well, that table's got a kind of little rough place here, and I got caught on there scooting out to get to the door, Oh, it just rang. But wait till I tell you something, that glass door was locked.
that
the
was the
screen
knock
door.
on the door.
Yeah, but the door was was right on the door, but it couldn't have been nobody outside that did it, see? Because
There's a glass between.
the glass door was there.
Storm door
The
was
glass
locked
door was
on the
still
door.
locked.
But they
Anyway,
knocked on the wooden
It
door
just,
under it.
it just rang, didn't it, Auntie?
Mhm.
And I run right quick, so Auntie looked in the back after we heard it, and I looked in front, and there wasn't anything
We
there.
thought maybe Dan and Nan had
Yeah,
come going.
And went around, see,
Not
but there
at all.
wasn't anybody.
No cars, no nothing.
No cars, no nothing, and it was a hard, did we hear it
The
again?
next evening, we heard
Yes,
the same
twice,
thing.
y'all.
Yeah, just,
And by the next evening, we were gone.
they said,
We were. We were wondering if it would happen the third time, but we weren't there.
What about the night when you all was in the living room and
Oh,
Bob was
yeah.
on the couch with you and Mom was in the chair and y'all saw
Yeah.
something at the same time but
I
different?
saw something run across the floor. It just caught my eye. Couldn't tell what it was. You big.
and I saw the big bat,
She was sitting on a bassinet,
The black.
and the dog saw it.
It was like it came from under the coffee table. She
It just
said.
went right, it come through the door like, or it seemed like, or the wall or something through the door, and it went right down about this
Under
high
that
off
coffee
the,
table.
about this high up off the floor, under that coffee
But
table.
when I saw it was on the floor.
See, and then Troy, he looked down at it,
Like it went under the couch she was
And
sitting
it went
on.
right under the couch.
so Auntie and I
So
looked
they looked.
everywhere,
We
but
got
we
a place
couldn't find
looking
anything.
around.
We looked everywhere, we
Never
couldn't see.
found nothing.
You
So I
strange
can
thing
go up
happened.
there. Every time they go up there, they see or hear
Yeah.
something really weird.
Oh, that was up in the country?
Yeah. country.
all the stories.
And that dog, he was always looking up at the ceiling in the evening, look up and look up. And then once in a while he'd get so scared he'd just run under that door.
He's seen something, they say that animals can see things that you can't see.
And that happens at her house in town.
Oh, every
Same
night
thing.
about 20 minutes to 11 at night, that front door, it sounds like it opens. No kidding. I think he's coming in at that time every night, no kidding. Yeah, about 20 minutes to 11. sometimes
Something
it's
to
a
look
little.
forward to.
Well, Auntie's seen Troy, how, if Troy
Yeah,
would get on
something.
his place where he used to sit all the
He
time.
really did hear
Oh my
something.
God, he'll jump off of that thing, he'll be looking all, Auntie's seen him looking around. And
Both
anybody,
places.
oh, yes. Yes, sir, you could see every night it did it.
Just watch something along the ceiling.
Up
Just
and-
like you can
and
see
then-
it.
then it
And then
would
you hear girls scared and jump and run and hide under the
Then
couch.
you know that dog, when they heard that knock on the door, that dog heard, he ran in there barking.
Yes, Yeah.
And there was not a soul.
not a soul.
anything.
Mm,
It's probably him letting you know he's still
I don't
I'm
know.
sure.
I just don't know.
One
I
of
don't
these
think he's
days,
ever left here, I'll
One of
tell
these
you.
days.
Weird boy.
I don't think he's ever left here. Anyway, whenever, now like Troy used to sit on Dad, where Dad, where we, at the house there, you know. Anyway, he'd look all around, you know, and then he'd look just about the height where Dad was, and zoom, he'd get down and run under the bed real quick.
He would,
Yes,
he
sir.
really goofed.
Oh, I
got
mean,
scared.
he'd go.
Just like you could see him, you know,
Oh,
nobody
yes.
else could. 'Cause
But
Hank
we
hated
see-
that dog.
Oh,
That
how
dog
he hated
knew
him.
it.
How he hated that dog.
Uh-uh.
Yeah. But every night, about 20 minutes
It
away.
happens every night?
Almost every night, hon.
We
So
gotta
very
try
good
to
time.
talk to him.
Say
Get a-
what?
Get a pen and a piece of paper out or something.
Say what?
I've never had any.
Wouldn't that be neat to make?
Say, where are you? Let me see you.
I know.
It scared me half to death, but it
Really?
would be neat.
No, you
Yes, it
don't.
would be different.
They say just don't ever, if something ever comes by you and holds their hand out for you, take it, don't never do it. No.
Touch him.
I heard a story about that. My grandma and my mother told me that. There was it was out, I don't know, with some of their people, grandmas and them, you know, when the way back and that. Anyway, this one man, he didn't believe in anything like this, you know, like a ghost or nothing like this. And is the baby hurt?
Uh-uh.
Oh. Anyway,
She's unconcerned, they're just fine.
and I'll tell you something about the great grandpa if you want to hear about that, about the thing that he always saw and what happened after he saw it. Well, should I tell you that first? Okay. Well, grandpa, he always had a byword. It was Grandma Coose's, let's see, I guess it would be her grandfather, I don't know. Anyway, he had a byword. Damn it to hell, he'd always say that to me. That was just his byword. So him and Grandma, they moved to this farmhouse. People moved out, and so they moved in it and bought this farmhouse. Grandpa did. So anyway, they had animals. You know, they had a barn lot and had little animals all around and everything. So anyway, they'd get up early. You know, he'd get up early and go out and feed. You know, do feeding. So one morning he went out and this started. You know, after they moved there a while, and it started. Here was this man there. He had a kerchief around his neck and overalls. He was a regular farmer, you know, and said he would always be in that corner there at the lot, you know, the horse lot. And Grandpa looked at him and said, "What the hell, what you doing here in my place this time of the morning?" He said, "What are you up to?" And said the thing didn't say anything. He said just about that time it disappeared when he talked to it. Disappeared right there. Anyway, he said that happened every morning when you go out to feed. You know, just as that man would be standing there at the corner, right in the corner of that lot. Anyway, they had some folks to come visit him, and so he was telling them about that. He said, "I don't know." He said, "That's a strange thing." He said, "That man disappears right there." So they said, "Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get some shovels and things, and we're going to dig there." So that man is trying to tell you something. Did you know they found a whole lot of gold money and all kinds of stuff in a big thing? And after that, he never saw it before, again, ever.
That I could take.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Maybe
Disappeared
Sam's
there.
trying to tell you something, Mama.
I wonder.
He'd never get any money though, would he?
No.
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 Maybe a bottle of booze.
Yeah. I found the empty whiskey bottle. No, but after they found that, after they dug there, they said, "Well, let's dig there." That's trying to tell you something, you know. And, well, you know what? Grandma Coos and them, in the olden days, they didn't believe in banks. So Grandma Coos and them sold their farm before they moved there in town where they always lived there, you know, in Solix. So anyway, her and Grandpa, they lived in, I can't think of, ain't that crazy? I can't think of that town. They lived up there where this devil dog was, but it was a little ways away from there. Anyway, they sold their farm, and instead of putting their money, they didn't have a bank, or they didn't believe in banks. They didn't want to put it there, I guess. Old people who had funny ways thinking they wouldn't get it back or something, I guess. Anyway, they put it in a jar, in a glass jar that fastens over, you know, and they buried it by a little peach tree. They had a little peach tree out there, and they said, "Well, they'll always know where this was." Well, so, I don't know, it stayed there, and I guess it didn't pay much attention to it. And broke that peach tree down. I bet somebody always seen them buried, because that grandma had me walking up at that. It was Limes Kill. That was the name of the place, Limes Kill. I don't know why they named it that. It's still Limes Kill up there. People will talk about it. Anyway, Grandma would take me there a lot of times, and she took a shovel with her. And we'd dig, and she'd have me digging because her arm was bad. And she said, now I know somebody has dug that up. She
Dug
said,
that whole backyard, I'm looking for it.
well, we just dug here. Now, you know what? She'd count up where the house was,
Yeah.
so many steps off, and she had me a digging. I hated to go up that Limes Kill with her. They never did find that money. I just wonder if
I bet
something's there.
somebody's dug
Well,
it up
sure
and
that-
spent it before
I
she
just
ever.
wondered though, if somebody's
Maybe I
there.
could tell somebody there was money buried in my garden. And
You'll
Feed
be
my
a
garden.
pile
That's a
of
good
right.
Want to plant flowers?
Golly.
Oh, I tell you. Oh, that's all. You used to hear all them stories. I'd sit back and listen to them. You know, they'd be telling one another. Grandma always had the biggest lot of company on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
All of the farmers would come in. You know, they'd come in to do their shopping, and then they'd go to Grandma's house. Oh, that
Sit
house.
around and tell stories.
Yeah, they tell all these things that they used to happen, you know, to them. Oh, God. I never will forget one time that, or gee, she was older than I was, you know, it was Aunt Lizzie's daughter. So, anyway, Aunt Gertie Potts, Coos lived way back over in a field. We had to go through the woods and through a field and way off, and they had great big ponds you could go swimming in. So, Aunt Gertie Coos and Aunt Lizzie, you know, had phones, you know, and so Aunt Lizzie said, no, Aunt Gertie Coos didn't have a phone. Aunt Lizzie had one, but Aunt Gertie Coos didn't. Anyway, Ora and Ora said, Mom, can we go over to Aunt Gertie's and go swimming? She said, Margaret, I was up on my vacation, you know. I was just a little old booger, not too big. Anyway, Aunt Lizzie said, no, I don't think you ought to take that old blind horse and go over there. Said, you know he stumbles and falls, and said, you better not go over there, and said, it's rocky and all. Oh, no, she wouldn't. You know how kids are. She wouldn't listen. Well, Margaret's going with me. She said, now you come home before it gets dark, because if you don't, you're going to get a hard whipping. Well, you know, we stayed. Of course, Aunt Gertie had supper, and we stayed for supper, and my God, it got dark. So Aunt Gertie said, I think you better stay here. She said, I give in, think we had a phone so we could call Lizzie. I'd leave you here because I don't think you should go home with that old blind horse. Well, we got on the fence. They have, you know, them things that you go over, and they got steps that you can go from one side. Yeah, and to the other. We got up on there and got on the old horse, and so Aunt Gertie said, well, Uncle Henry hadn't come in yet. So from the fields, he was out there working or doing something, I don't know, but or in the barn, I think, feeding. Anyway, Aunt Gertie said, well, you better take a lantern along with you. So now that's how dark it was. So they lit the lantern, and she got up in the front, and I got on the back. So clumpity, clumpity, clump. Well, the darn coyotes or wolves or whatever it was started howling. I started crying. I'm going to tell on you for keeping me out late. I was just a ball and skull. Anyway, we had to cross over a creek. So you had to go down kind of a bank like and then go up another bank. Oh, crazy horse fell as we went down the thing. Oh my God, and the lantern went out. It was dark, and I really started crying. And she gave me a real hard smack. Now, come on here. She said, I'm not getting on that. We can't get on that horse because I can't get you up there. So we had the horse and leading him along, and we walked home, and boy, did she get a beating. Oh, boy. Yeah, it was after that. I never will forget that.
What had she done?
We stayed till after dark, and the old horse fell as we went down the bank and across the creek. We had to cross the creek. And
See good at night.
no, the old horse was blind, and Lizzie didn't want her to go over there. And anyway, and she told us to get home before dark. And then we lost the lantern, of course. And oh my God, we never seen it so dark, and we just on our way home. We got home. Did she get a beat?
Mine used to be.
Well, the time for pie yet?
Yeah, man.
What? Oh
Bye.
my God.
Well,
All right, just
Turn off.
We've been telling
Turn
you all
off
the
our
way.
camera.
Yeah.
We've been on-
Turn off our
we've been on
camera. Wave at
television.
Karen. Everybody wave at
Wait till you
Karen.
see it on television. It's all
see it
going to
on
be on
television.
television, hon. Just see all of those stories on there.
I
Yeah.
told one too.
Yeah.